Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're getting in another video today. It's a little bit darker. I actually wanted to take advantage of the lack of sunlight because especially when you're doing vlogs in your car, the sun can do interesting things to the camera lens and how that appears after the video, and kind of like when you're going to edit it, it does weird things, like probably 2 videos ago that I released. Lots of light was coming in through here. But let's get straight to it. So about a month ago, I installed the JDM Astar fog light conversion kit. It was just 2 light bulbs. They were LEDs, so I'm going from, I do have the limited, but obviously the limited doesn't come with the LED light fog lights. So I upgraded those bulbs, and I wanted to do kind of like a long-term review, and you know, why I chose to do it, and do I regret doing it? Was it worth the money? And before I lose some of you guys, I really want to show you the difference. So I'm gonna roll a clip right now. This video that you're seeing right now is of when I initially did the install, and it's a comparison one to the other, so you can exactly see what difference it made and, you know, what it would actually do for visibility. And yeah, guys, so before we get started with this kind of long-term review, if you're interested in more WRX content or you want to see some of the modifications that'll be happening to this car in the near future, which there will be a lot of, please consider subscribing to the channel. So let's get right into it. So how have I liked the fog lights? I think that's the question everyone's asking. Is it worth the money? I think they're like 30 bucks. Is it worth the 30 bucks? And 100% yes. For those of you that are watching this and are on the, you know, trying to figure out whether I want to make that decision and buy it, it does help out the channel if you can use the link in the description below. So I'll have the lights linked in the description below. It's just kind of an Amazon thing. I'm not working with them, and I'm not being paid to say any of this. This has been one of those mods where I get a lot of bang for buck. And the reason I say that is because that video that you saw earlier, I'm getting a heck of a lot of practicality for 30 bucks. And beyond the aesthetic appeal, where I'm got this color match now, which is pretty cool at night, and like for those of us that are really like driving our cars, we really want to show them off. I guess I'm not really showing my car off, but you want to be proud of how your car looks. That color match is important. But beyond all of that is the practicality. And I've got to say, if it costs $30 to make your visibility at night 10 times better, I'd spend it in a heartbeat again. Now, the big thing with these bulbs, and you know, maybe not just this company alone, there are other conversion kits out there, but the big thing here and the big takeaway from this video is taking the fog lights and going from the OEM halogen to an LED aftermarket solution will make a huge deal in your nighttime driving. My visibility and forward projection of light is like at least double, and it makes a big difference with these cars, especially because they're so low. Having the beam reflect off the ground and up around, and not only that, is the wider view of projection, you get a whole lot more viewing. And I think there's something else to be considered, that when I'm driving, especially in a city, my lights are brighter. Obviously there's more projection, so they're brighter. My lights are brighter, and it's kind of changed. I feel like people are more aware of where I am, and that I'm behind them, or they're coming, you know, or we're like head on or stuff like that. And I think that awareness has some monetary value as well, because I think there's been a change. I've had less occurrences where I'm worried about somebody at least hitting me from the front or backing into me, because I've got these super bright lights. They're not obnoxiously bright, and they're not terribly bright for other drivers. If they're like, they're not blinding, I think that's the best way to say it, because they're so low on the car. But they're definitely there, and they're definitely kind of in your face. Now that's a bad way of saying it because they're not blinding, but they do make a difference of the overall lighting around the car, and I think that makes everybody else aware that you're there. And it probably doesn't make a big difference, but I feel it keeps my car and keeps me a little bit safer. So yeah, so other than that, long term, they've held up. I've had no issues with them. They're working great, knock on wood, but I mean, there's no wood in this car, but you know what I mean. There's I've been going for about like 1,000, 2,000 miles, somewhere in between that, some fine number. Been on the car for about a month, lots of driving, lots of night driving, and you know, again, they've been perfect. I think the color match is really close. I was a little bit like, there's a little bit of difference when I first installed them. Then I explored a lot of the other aftermarket solutions, and I actually saw a bunch of WRXs that had other kits, like the diode dynamics and all those things, and those were actually further from the same color. So I think this kit was, at least from what I've seen, is the closest color match. It's probably off by only a little bit, but I do really like it. It's not really, I mean, no, it's not noticeable unless you're like staring at it and you're moving your head around and you're trying to figure it out. So long-term review, 2 thumbs up. Really happy with the part. worth its money and weight and whatever you want to say in gold. That didn't make any sense. It's worth its money in practicality, and it's worth its money in kind of like peace of mind, light projection. Other than the Rally Armor mud flaps, which were also a really good practical modification, because there'll be a video about that soon. Other than that, those are the two most practical, best bang for buck mods. Like, I love my exhaust and I love everything else that you can do in the community, but I've got to say those make me feel the safest in this car, and it makes me feel like the car is the safest. And I know for everybody out there that owns a Subaru WRX, these things are generally they're like a child. You care about them. You don't want them to be scratched, anything to happen to them. So there's something to say about that. There's some peace of mind. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.